We should be pulling up in our live streams. We are going live, giving you guys value in our seminar, and we should be going live as well now on our YouTube. Hope everybody's had a great week so far. And we're getting started. Maybe I didn't want to do that one. Maybe I'll change it. For you guys that are jumping on, we're giving value for everyone and doing this live for about 40 minutes. And then we'll cut out, and then we're going to move into our Zoom link. So you guys that want to get the benefit of this will get to see it live streamed and continue watching it all the way through. Let me get one more link set up here. Oh, I did that. Let's see here. We are going to be discussing tolerance and the word failure and what it means. What does it mean to us? Tolerance and failure. We got to understand that behind words is always a movement. And if we can understand the movement behind the word, we can understand how to integrate it into our own behavior and how to create the life that we want by learning new ways of acting, behaving, new ways of integrating the knowledge that we have, going beyond the knowledge we have, integrating new knowledge, and developing ourselves beyond what we know. For many, many years, I've been working on developing myself beyond what I know. So it never ends. And it never ends because as you develop yourself, you find more, you learn more about yourself, you learn more about what you didn't know, and you continue building things that you had no idea you were capable of. So this development that we're talking about, and we're going to touch on that as well, the power of personal development and the power of spiritual development, and distinguishing the two, one from the other. I'm going to go ahead and jump into our Zoom here. And I'm going to go into the mind, a little bit of the mind. What does it mean? What does it mean to us? And how are we experiencing life through our thoughts? And thoughts really mean a lot. They really do, because it means the direction of where we're going. And I'm going to show you guys an image here. And I want you to really look at this image because it brings awareness to who we are, who we think we're not, and what we think we're capable of. You guys are able to see the screen on Zoom?
Yeah, I can see it, Abraham.
Okay. So for you guys that are on Facebook, not in the Zoom link, this is the brain and the nervous system that runs through your body, connecting to the brain, connecting to the body.
Abraham, your voice is muted. Your voice is almost muted.
Okay. How about now?
Oh yeah, that's okay now.
Okay. So really take a look at that. Is that who you are? Or are you more than that? Is this who you are? Or are you more than that? You see, a lot of people think of their brain. No. You send information to the brain. As you think, you move ideas. As you think, you send information to the brain from the mind. The mind thinks. The mind is a movement, and the body is a manifestation of that movement. Here we go. So as you look at that movement, you see it lighting up. You see the electrical impulses lighting up through the nervous system, through the brain, through the nervous system. You're actually the energy that connects to that brain and nervous system, sending information. The highest part of your personality is what's thinking, and it's sending information down through the brain, down through the nervous system. And it causes your body to act and behave in a certain way. The key function here is that you're not the brain. So the information that's moving through this brain and nervous system is what's sending the images to move along, to move forward, to stop, to retract, to freeze, to fight, flight. You're literally moving according to the images that are flashing on the screen of your mind. And the average individual is really not aware of what's flashing on the screen of his mind. The average individual is only aware of what they see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. They're not paying attention to what they're thinking. They're not paying attention to who's causing me to act and behave as I do. And it is so subtle, consciousness is so subtle that it takes over your way of being, your way of seeing things, your way of analyzing things, your way of thinking and patterning thoughts. That nervous system is solely for the production of the images that run through it. Scientists know that the minute that consciousness cannot connect to that brain and body, that brain stem, immediately the body flatlines and it's off to another place. The brain has no life, and it cannot do anything on its own. The essence, which is called spirit, gives it life. Your spirit gives life to that brain stem, to that brain and brain stem, because it breathes life into it. It moves into that cerebral cortex. It moves into that brain. It moves into the neural pathways with information. Where does it gather information? Well, a lot of us really don't understand that the information is in the field. The information that you've gathered from your environment is literally in the field. So as you think, you pick up the information from the field and it flashes on the screen of the mind. And this is the way it works. As you think of dog, cat, television, right now I'm accessing the information in your field and it's flashing on the screen in your mind. You see, your body lives in your field, and your field is your spirit, your soul. Your body lives in this field, this quantum field. So we're talking about the quantite field, the quantum field of entanglement, the quantum and the classical material part of your body. So here you are electromagnetically connecting, flowing, and you're literally entangling memory and information, and you're moving it into the brain, moving it into the body. So as you think, we use the word think, aren't you thinking? You're using the information from your field, not their field. As you gather this information and move into the world, to move into reality, use those ideas. They come flashing on the screen of the mind. We have the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious. At the farthest depths is unconscious behavior. You act and behave, and you're not even aware why you're acting and behaving in the manner you do. You make choices. You don't make choices. You don't choose to go beyond what you know. You choose to go beyond a little bit what you know. At some point, you stop going beyond. Who's making that choice? Do you know that you're the only one that can decide when to stop growing? You're the only one, as far as we know of it, that can literally choose. We have free will. The ability to choose to stop growing, to stop developing, and stay where we're at, not go beyond. Who's choosing? It's literally a mental program behind the screen, behind the scene, is causing you to act and behave as you act, and you're just not even aware of it. Why is this important to me? Because all my life, I knew I was more than what I saw. I knew that I was a spiritual being living in a physical body, 2 years, 7 months. I knew there was truth to the memories I had, and I've been researching them for years and trying to understand what consciousness is, origins of consciousness. Who are we? What are we here for? What is possible? What's not possible? Why do some people go beyond and so many stay stuck? What's happening? Why is it so many people stay stuck, repeating the day? Not for one day, for years. And not just for 5, for 10, for 15, for 20, for 30, for 40, for 60, for 80, for 90, 100 years. Repeating the same lessons, never knowing that they were not supposed to repeat the day. They're just repeating a program. I was convinced at the onslaught of this awakening, there was more to life than beyond the material world. What was causing them to act and behave as they did? What was causing them to live impoverished? What was causing them to stay stuck? What was causing them to stay in the same district or move back to the same district and act and behave as they do? All of this awareness has led me to the depths of consciousness and looking to understand it. As we think, we are literally moving this information. We have information in the quantite field. Right now, I'm going to access yours. Can you see the green dog? How about the blue dog? The green dog is fixing to lick you in your forehead. He stands 9 foot tall. Standing right in front of you, this green dog is fixing to lick you. His tongue hanging out. It's moving towards your forehead. Right now, everyone that's listening or watch this in the future, I just accessed your field. That image flipped on the screen of your mind, and you saw your dog, a dog, whatever image is in your mind, not mine, but I did access it, and we treated a file of a dog. We made him 9 foot tall, and we gave him a color. And those images came flashing on the screen of your mind, dropping down just like a window, dropping down, and you're seeing with your vision, not with your eyes, with your vision. What is that? See, a lot of people don't question. How do I get a vision? How does it flash on the screen of my mind? It's moving into your vision with your mind's eye. And here it comes flashing on the screen of the mind. Ferrari, red Ferrari, blue Ferrari. And as you gather information, you think that you know. So many people think they know just because they've gathered information. So many people think that they know because they became educated. But they didn't know that there's different levels of programming. They didn't know that if they put the program solely for the memory of it, they don't know it. They know about it. A lot of people thought that by reading a book, that they know it. You don't know it. This is 1D. This is 2D. These are observations of facts at a distance, theirs. And I have literally mentored and worked with people that have wrote books that are not getting the results. Why? Because they didn't understand this either. They may become more enlightened, and they may get connected to this field of consciousness and start to receive ideas and be able to think about it, and then be able to talk about it, and then even be able to write about it. But they cannot experience it because they didn't understand there's different levels of programming information into your subconscious, which is your body. First layer, I've got a vision. I've got an idea. You get it in your mind's eye, moves in, you got a vision. And then you think you know it because you're playing with the idea. No, you just know about it. Then some people take that idea and they move it down and they study it so much they memorize it. School did a very good job of teaching how to develop one of the faculties, memory. That's about it. Then they test you for it. If you get it for the memory of it, that's great. But all you can do is think about it. And if you go further of programming it, that means auto-suggestion and repetition. You want to get to know it, you want to understand it, you move it to your mouth. You can talk about it. Then people can think about it and can talk about it. So they move it into the energy centers, and they move it into their heart, and they start to fall in love with it, fall in love with the idea. They want to take the actions. They want to move into action. They want to do something with it. But they didn't understand that there's already energy in this body. And what you're doing is you're planting it lower and lower into the subconscious. They don't know when they get to the solar plexus, and as they get there, they already have a self-image in their solar plexus. They already have desires and they already have a root. And the average individual kicks the idea out when it's time to take change, when it's time to change themselves, when it's time to go beyond themselves, when it's time to take the action. That memory that's in your body literally will kick it out. You have fears, doubts, worries, and you will literally kick the idea out, and it goes back into the field for somebody else to pick it up. This is really happening, and it's happening every millisecond. You're moving from a wave to a particle, oscillating. It's called thinking. The majority of people are not thinking. All they're doing is playing with ideas in their field. They're playing with the old memories from where they moved into, and normally where they're moved out from. As they think they're thinking, they're just literally replaying a lot of the same images over and over again from the field. So we have memory from the field, from the environment, from where you grew up in, that moved into your field. Your aura. As you think, you pluck them, move into the brain, and you start firing and wiring them. Cause the body to take action. And then you have memory in the blood. Scientists know that the minute that the spirit, that divine spark, moves out of the body flatlines, and you're off to another place. They know that if a child is born perfect, can be perfect. But if it's born and that spirit cannot entangle with that body, it goes back to the earth immediately. It doesn't grow up. It doesn't develop the hand. It doesn't grow the hand. Why? Because the vital life force is literally reading the code and developing that hand to look like this hand. It developed these eyes to this color. It developed these eyebrows and this hair color because of the gene DNA. So vital life force, which is spirit, reads the memory and it develops it. Little hand, all the way to the large hand, all the way to the code where the code was set. So you're literally a code moving into reality. And then you move into the environment and you start to receive all the programming from your environment. You gather all that information. You begin to act, walk, and talk like them from the environment, downloading what they know, what they do not know, how they act, how they do not act, what they tolerate, what they do not tolerate, and what they don't go beyond. This is literally happening all the time. Happening to every child. It happened to them. It's happened to us. This is why this information is so important. To give people the opportunity to change and really have a blueprint to achieve the reality that they want. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. So again, different layers of programming. Again, school, valuable knowledge, inferior results. Valuable knowledge. I have worked with university teachers that are stuck. University teachers in economics that are stuck. I have worked with people globally that are stuck. Everybody gets stuck. It doesn't matter who you are, because we always get to the point of what we know. And if you don't know how to deprogram, reprogram, you conform. The average individual conforms. Now, every now and then you'll have somebody that keeps pushing the odds. They will keep going beyond what they know. And those people are rare. I was one of them. And I've remained one of them. Because I know that there's so much more. I know that I'm capable of so much more. And I keep re-educating. Education is not teaching people things. It's teaching them how to behave as they would never have behaved. That's education. We teach education. We'll teach people that have gone to school, that have had masters, doctorates, and help them go beyond what they know. Because we all get to the point of what we know. It's about learning how to go beyond, how to rewrite, how to detangle, deprogram. We have a TM practice that we do. And that TM practice has been one of the best meditation devices, tools that I've seen that allows people to have access to move back into the subconscious, to start to disentangle and deprogram stress, emotions, and then impacts that have been here for a lifetime. So we teach the process of moving people into the TM so they start to deprogram, de-stress, deprogram, not only what happened during the day, but also impacts, emotional impacts that have been there for a lifetime. And as you're able to detangle, deprogram, You feel more ready and able to move on beyond what you know. A lot of people that couldn't move, they couldn't take the actions, they felt stuck, they had the fear overcame them, they couldn't move on. They go do the TM, they're starting to take the actions they couldn't take. Why? Because you don't know consciousness until it's missing. As we remove that pocket of information, as we remove those pockets of programs, all of a sudden, as they move out into the world, they no longer move into that pocket of memories or programs or beliefs that aren't even yours. It could be in the DNA. I watch this all the time. We can separate it and let you flow. Intervention technique that I teach people how to awaken their imagination, become one with their consciousness, become one conscious with all the fields of consciousness within their own state of being, become aware when they're off track, move themselves back on track, control the flow, get into the vibration they need to be in to attract and manifest what they desire. All these tools we're teaching throughout the weeks, throughout the months. You want to change? Send us a message. It's about making a decision, permanent decisions, that you're not no longer going to go back to who you are. The person that can make a definite decision to themselves are the people that change. I had to make a personal decision on myself many years ago. I've never looked back. The life I live is not an accident. It was on purpose. It's what I've desired. Did I have to deprogram? Oh yeah. Did I start up with nothing? Of course I did. Everything I've achieved in this lifetime, I came from nothing. But I've been able to, yes, did I have to learn a lot of things? Did I have follies? We're going to go into that, follies and tolerance. Did I have all these experiences? Yes. But I've been able to suppress them, and so can you. I invite you guys. We're going to get started. I'm going to invite Ricardo on. We've been discussing tolerance and failure and how to make those words, or how to understand those words to the deepest understanding to make them flow with you. You flow with them. You rearrange matter as you want to. Why? Because you're more than what you see. Ricardo's got 50 plus years in science, neuroscientist. He's a doctor. He also has 30 plus years in neurofeedback, 30 plus years in TM. Ricardo, you on?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody. Hi, Abraham. Hi, Carla.
Let's get started.
Okay. We can pick up a little bit of what we did in the seminar in the morning. Would you like that?
Yeah.
I started with the concept of tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it now in English. I was translating it. And let's see, here it is. Tolerance has a particular etymology, a root where it comes from, the word tolerance, okay, where it comes from. The reason why that it is important to understand the origin of a word, if it's possible to understand it, is that it is not you, a man somewhere in a long time in the past, who invented the word because they got together with other people and they decided to name something in a particular way. It didn't happen that way. Mostly of the 94,000 words there in Spanish and about 174,000 words in English, it didn't happen that way. It happened because there is always an agreement, a tacit agreement within the mind and the brain, that the brain will put its 2 cents in inventing a word when the mind has discovered an abstraction that requires being crystallized. And so a word is assigned to the crystallization of the concept so that it can be remembered later. So that's how we have built our memory throughout thousands and thousands and thousands of generations while words are being invented. So any word has had a particular origin in time, and it maintains. Look at this. The word, no matter how far away it was invented, created, or assigned, okay, it retains all the characteristics under which it was assigned. Okay, it retains the characteristic, for example, of meaning, It retains the characteristic of connotations and implications. It retains the characteristic of positioning. Any word you use will constantly be positioning you. Whether you know or not, doesn't matter if you know it or not. It will be better if you do, but it doesn't matter if you know or not. Any word, the moment you use it, it is positioning you. You see what I'm saying? For example, the word tolerance comes from the Latin tolerare, which means, look at this, to sustain the load you're carrying. That's what tolerance means, to sustain the load you're carrying. So there are three parts to the definition. Look at this: sustain, load, carry. That means that what? You have been carrying, you are carrying a load. Okay, that's one thing. You're carrying a baby, you're carrying a suitcase, right? You're carrying a bag, you're carrying a load. But the load this thing is talking about, it isn't only referring to something you're carrying outside with your arms. No, you're carrying something inside, a pressure. You see, that we call that a load. You're carrying a load, something which implies some emotional thing. You imply some kind of pressure inside of you. So you're carrying a load. You understand that? So you're carrying, that's a verb. What? A load. Fine. Okay. That has a reality of itself. But on top of that, you're sustaining that. And that is the interesting part of tolerance. Because you can access the sustaining part. It may be very, very difficult. It may take a long time to discover what is the load you're carrying and to convince yourself it is time to unload it. But by the time you're ready for that, it's been 36 years. You see? So that's one other thing. But you're sustaining that. And you can change your mind whether you want to keep on sustaining it, tolerating that, or not tolerating that. There, you can intervene. Now, if you decide you don't want to keep on sustaining the load you're carrying, okay, you stop sustaining it now. But that doesn't do away with the load, nor with the fact you're carrying it. You just are not going to sustain it anymore. And something beautiful and revolutionary starts happening in your life and to you the moment you make that decision. But it comes with all kinds of implications, all kinds of things that you're going to have to learn to confront when you decide to stop sustaining, to letting go of carrying a load.
Let's look at this load. Now, let's look at the word tolerance. Tolerate. You're going to tolerate something. You have tolerance, intolerance, right? And we can use storytelling to understand it better. How many times have you tolerated not changing yourself? How many times have you tolerated going to the same place to experience the same thing, same business, same job, to complain and not like what you're doing, but you tolerate it? You don't change. How many times have you wanted to change yourself? You want more, but you keep tolerating it. A lot of people didn't know that there's a cybernetic mechanism in their root that has a standard of living. The tolerance cybernet, the control system, the thermostat, and that control is in the root. When you look at your house and your home and your vehicle, that's what you've been tolerating. That's a tolerance. You've been tolerating that external reality, consciously or unconsciously. And here's the thing, the majority of people are not even conscious that they've been tolerating what they see. So there's also becoming aware that you've been tolerating and resisting change. So do we have tolerating as a control system that holds you in a spot? Tolerance. And then you could look at, and I'm playing with these words so that you can see the positive and the negative of both of them, the forward and the backwards, the up and the downside of tolerance. Because the truth of it is it's a control mechanism, and it's indifferent how you use it. But it will center you, and you will view the world from that state. So you can use intolerance, say, I will no longer tolerate living in this manner, or I will no longer tolerate this relationship. And then you're ready to change. But will you make the change? Will you make the decision? Will you persist? Or will you resist being changed? Or will the resistance of change cause you to change? Will you continue to tolerate the old way of thinking, the old way of image-making process? Follow me. You are a vital life force, entangling with a body, but you also entangle with a memory in that quantified field. And that intelligence, that universal light, moves into the memory and it moves into the body, firing neural plasticity, firing and wiring. And it's arming itself with all that information all the way down the route, and it's arming it with ideas. It also entangles with the memory of the gene. This is why consciousness is so subtle, you don't even know how you're getting the results you're getting, because it's behind the scenes, behind the radar. Then you move into action, tolerating or intolerating if you become conscious. Consciousness opens you up into a space behind the scene, moving more with consciousness. Consciousness is that field of consciousness, but we became conscious of what we have. Until we can separate ourselves from what we know, what we saw, until we separated us from ourselves in the body and be able to really review how we're thinking, you'll never even know that you're not thinking. Because you're thinking through the program. You're thinking through the memories. And it's a memory. Literally understand what I'm telling you. You're using memories to move out into the world. Whose memory? You took images from mom and dad. The way he treated a woman, the way the woman treated a man. The way a husband treats a wife, between the way a wife treats a husband. You started to download all that information the way a husband or a father, now we use the word father, treats a son. The way a father treats a daughter. The way a mother treats a son, the way a mother treats... You're downloading all of this information, memories. And guess what you're going to move out of as you start to think? You're grouping these ideas. You're grouping these memories. I started to look around at the results of people around my neighborhood when I was a little child. And we're living in some rough areas. And that's how things happen. And what I saw was ignorance. What I saw was an image-making process that they were not willing to get out of. As I'm looking at everybody in these neighborhoods, I'm literally being programmed. And as I'm watching how they behave, it's moving right into me as well. As I'm watching the way they are acting, behaving like, I question myself. They're saying there's poverty. They're saying that they're expressing poverty. And they're right. Their truth was correct. But why is it people down in another district or far away in another place are living lavishly? These people didn't change the memory. These people kept using the old memories. And they wouldn't let them go. As I really started to really understand what consciousness is, I said, my God, people are just using the wrong memories. They're an image-making process, and they keep flashing the same images on the screen of the mind, and they just keep acting, behaving like them. The people that are wealthy are flashing wealthy images on the screen of the mind. They entangle with the wealth. They entangle with the wealth of wealth, well-being, prosperity, power, success. They entangle. They get into the spirit of that image, and they move into that idea, and they give their life for it. In the same manner that somebody moves into poverty, finding the job that doesn't pay them well, but barely making it. Those are all ideas as well. So here we have human bodies with spiritual energy that are thinking and acting and behaving like what they know. Really look at your life. Look at the lives of the people around you. How much of them have been stuck on the same image, resisting change, tolerating by using the same image? My life began to change when I started to change the images that I was using. Of course, learning all this information, learning how to reprogram, detangle. Tolerance is the act of sustaining, holding on to something. Intolerance is the act of letting go. But if you don't have an image to where you're going, you will go back to tolerating what you know. The mind needs order. It goes back to what it knows. Let's touch on why somebody would go back to what they know. Ricardo?
That's the only option we have. Go back to what we know is a place where we keep on the standard of living we're in. We feel protected. We feel safe. We feel we don't have to do any more work. We feel satisfied with that. We may be afraid of change. We may be too angry to change. We want to keep on blaming other people, blaming ourselves. We like to suffer. We like to assign value to our suffering. All kinds of reasons why we
Those
go
are
back.
all mental ideas that we use against ourselves, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Now you may want to touch on the vibration aspect of that.
Yep. It's not until we're encouraged to go beyond what we know that awakens us. What encourages us to go on beyond what we know? To no longer want to tolerate a thing. One, the desire for something. It's got to be a really burning desire. It's got to move you. You got to want to experience. You've got to want to be one with it. You got to go to bed and wake up with it. When you find a vision or you find something that really moves you into action, what are you doing? You're stirring up the root energy. You're stirring up the fire in your body. You're stirring up. You're willing to go beyond what you know. You're willing to burn the boats and do the thing. That changes what you're tolerating. And what you're tolerating will keep you stuck. As we move into an action, we've got to know where we're going. If you don't know where you're going, the mind quickly and automatically goes back to what it knows, and we're off to the same place, same rhythm and rhyme. And this is how we stay stuck. The question is what do you want? What do you really want? What are you willing to do to untangle what you know? Who are you willing to become? You've literally had to choose to be somebody else, because who you are is already programmed. We've devised these classes in a manner that it doesn't matter who you are, where you're at. We can help you. But you got to make a decision. We're getting closer to time. We're going to continue on. You guys send us a message. You want to get on the Zoom call. All we're charging is $4.99 for the subscription for the month, and you get the rest of this class, and you get every month, as well as Monday through Friday, 25, 30 minutes every day of learning this material, how to change. Thank you guys for your time. And everybody have a wonderful day. And we'll continue on here.